In the auto sector to the markets. 2025 was a blockbuster year for the Indian primary market with 1.76 lakh crore rupees raised via IPO by 103 main board companies. But 2026 is not far behind as well, because 2026 also promises to be an action-packed year as over 200 companies are eyeing to raise $30 billion. With big names like Flipkart, PhonePe and Reliance Jio set to hit the Lal Street. My colleague Sharad now joins us to tell us what to expect this year as far as the IPO market is concerned. Sharad.
2025 was big. It seems like 2026 will be much bigger. Looking at the numbers, of course, first let's look back. The IPO mobilization, the numbers was at 1.76 lakh crore rupee. That's an all-time high levels I'm talking about. Also, approximately 103 odd companies has raised this amount, and this is largely from the main board IPOs. The fund raised at 10% more than the preceding year as well. But overall, if you take the definition of fund mobilization, it also includes QIP rights. Over there, we see that public equity fundraising has declined by 18% on a year-on-year basis. This equity fundraising declined on a lower basis. This is because of mobilization through FPOs and OFS. Let's look at the digital numbers, how it's actually panning out. And we have taken the numbers on a calendar year basis to see where the momentum is happening. Overall, the total equity raise, this also includes IPO and other secondary deals, that was at 3.73 lakh crore. And that's coming in at almost 3.06 lakh crore rupees. So that's where the secondary market, we saw some kind of, fundraising emotions were dented. A fresh capital, almost 57% of the total equity mobilization was there compared to 65% coming in. Also, the largest IPOs in 2025, let's take a look back. Tata Capital, 15,512 crore rupees was raised, followed by HDB Financial, and from the MNC place, we had LG Electronics. Also, the retail investors' interest, that's also very much important. The interest levels dampened compared to the previous year itself. Average number of applications was roughly 15 lakh in 2025, and 2024 it was on a higher side. It was more than 18 lakh. That's where the retail interest was coming in. Apart from that, the applications, LG Electronics, Meesho and Standard Glass Lining come into this picture. But overall, the outlook 2026 remains really strong.
Thanks so much for explaining how the IPO market is poised to bring a lot of action in 2026. But let's now bring you some expert opinion. And here's what Prime Database's Pranav Haldia and Deven Choksi of DR Choksi Investment expect from the IPO market in 2026. Take a listen.
There is, of course, a lot of demand for fresh paper. We have to realize that mutual funds are flush with money. They're continuing to get crores of rupees on a month-on-month basis. There's only a limit to which they can invest in the secondary market where there are already valuation concerns. So, of course, there is a requirement for fresh paper to be invested in. But I think for this trend to continue, and of course, while the pipeline looks extremely strong for 2026, I think, valuations, of course, need to be kept in check, and the secondary market needs to support. Given that, we could perhaps look at another blockbuster year in 2026.
Reality check would prevail upon in this year, wherein some of the large companies like Jio Platform, NSC, Flipkart, Oyo, those kind of names, I think, which are likely to hit the market in 1 or 2 quarters from now. Given that kind of a situation, I think they would possibly be, pricing their IPOs, at a realistic level. As against, they priced, earlier companies priced, in 2025 at a significantly higher premium. So that's going to be one change in 2026 that I'm expecting.